Welcome to the Solution Podcast, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. And today we've got a great debate for you guys. Our Tradcons cuckolds. I've got with me Alex. What's going on, Alex, bro? You all right?
Yeah, great.
Alex believes that we are cuckolds, that Tradcons are cuckolds. And I can't wait to hear it. I can't wait to hear it. Maybe he's got a point. Who knows? We are going to find out. We are going to explore it. We're just having a discussion slash debate. So let's go for it. Alex, talk to me, bro. How am
Yeah,
I? How am I a cuckold, Alex?
yeah. We wanted to have this debate on the last one, but we couldn't go for like an 8-hour podcast. So we divided it up. It's fine. So this is my approach. Do you want to know why you specifically are, or do you want to know why trads in general are?
Well, I'm a Tradcon, so trads in general. I mean, I'm
Okay,
thinking,
if it's
I'm thinking
yeah, if
trads in general. I'm thinking trads in general. But if you want
yeah.
to give me both, I don't mind. I'm okay
No,
with
no,
it.
no. I know. I was just wondering how you wanted me to do this, but you have to understand that if we're going to take a general position, then what you may hear that I'm going to say is not necessarily going to be applicable to you.
Okay.
It's a pretty simple concept, but I'm sure you understand that. It's fine.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to get that out because a lot of people don't. Put it frankly, they're too stupid to understand the difference. So it's fine. Uh, you know exactly what I'm talking about on the shows where but I don't have it that way, so therefore it's not all that
Yeah,
kind of shit. But yeah,
yeah,
hey,
I hear what you're saying.
uh, okay, can you share my screen?
Absolutely. Hold on a second. Add to the stage. There we go.
That second tab is for you, by the way. But
The second
since we're not, since we're not right, since we're not getting into that yet, it's fine.
time.
So we'll look at the definition of cult. The I'm not sure if you know, but there are multiple definitions. I'm taking this one.
Sure.
Uh, yeah, this, and the Cambridge Dictionary also recognizes it as this.
Can you read it
So
out? Because it's really.
yeah, it's fine. A weak or servile man, and servile means having or showing excessive willingness to please others or serve them. And then if we add to the definition on the other
So can
dictionary,
you say that again? Can you repeat that again? Sorry, Alex.
cuck is a weak, effeminate, unmanly, or inadequate man. And then if you look at here, it's also the common terminology is a weak man.
You
And
said
then
who is often dominated by what? I couldn't read. It's too small.
which one? Oh,
Uh,
often dominated by women, but doesn't usually have to be.
okay.
It just says it's often dominated, so that means that you don't necessarily have to be dominated by women.
Okay.
Um, so we're gonna start this by explaining certain positions that the general trads take. Um,
Hold on, Alex.
right
Hassan decided to join us finally. There he is. Hey,
where,
Hassan,
Hello,
how are you?
hello guys. Hello, I'm alright.
Moderator.
I'm
bro? Why are
here.
you lagging? Why
Do
you?
all this.
Why is someone always lagging on my end?
Am I lagging?
Oh,
I'm
fucking
here if you
hell.
guys need any assistance. If you guys
No, it's fine. It's
step
going to
in.
be a chill thing today because I don't have time to get into debate mode because I was telling Nelson I had to leave in like 2 hours or something. It's fine.
Yeah,
It's
sorry,
fine.
Alex. You were saying. I apologize. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So I think the best way to understand why threats are cuts is explaining their some of their tenets of their beliefs. Um, and all this is going to be taken mostly from Twitter because that's where people talk the most. Some of it from political channels, but we can get into it. The first reason probably is that the general, remember the general, not your position, but the general trad position is the idea of re-acceptance of the born-again virgin, or born-again Christian, or whatever terminology they want to use. Before I get into this, actually, can we agree that one of the character traits of a weak person, doesn't matter if it's man or woman, just a weak person, is the avoidance of accountability?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, good. Then the idea of a born-again virgin that the general population of trads pushes, I'm talking about the people on X from what I've seen.
From what you've seen on X, okay.
Yeah, well, not just women, but men as well. Just you don't really need me to pull up the tweets, right? Because I have to go searching for them.
No, bro, I trust you. I trust you.
Yeah, okay. Is the idea of a born again virgin or born again Christian? The idea, if anyone doesn't know, born again Christian, born again virgin for women usually applies to women who, as the thing says, did whatever the hell they wanted in their youth, and now when they're old and used and spent up, and they realize that, oh shit, maybe my lifestyle of getting with Chad or whatever wasn't doing it. Now I want to turn to Christianity and hope that someone takes me and I still deserve a good man. No, you do not. Your actions define who you are today, and you need to be accountable to that. The trads, however, do not believe in that. They believe that you should still accept a born again Christian, and that if you don't believe in repentance. As I've said this on the last podcast that we had, eternal salvation in heaven does not absolve you from your earthly consequences. God believes in repentance just as much as he believes in accountability.
Hold on a second. You said if you don't accept the born again virgin, you don't what repentance?
Yeah, it means you fundamentally don't believe in the tenets of the Bible. You don't believe in it's a bunch of shaming language, basically.
Okay. Oh, you don't believe in repentance. Okay, if you don't accept the born again virgin, you don't believe in repentance. Okay, sorry, I just wanted to.
You don't believe in repentance. You're not a real Christian, etc.
Okay,
yeah, it's a bunch of shaming language.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty clear that all of this is just to avoid, because I mean, at the end of the day, you're just removing accountability from women, which is what the trads are always, they're standing for. Like I said, they just hide behind the Bible with a cross. They're no better than leftists. That's one of the areas in which I would say they've demonstrated cult tendencies. Especially because at the end of all of this, if you really think about it, who really suffers at the end of the day when they take in a born again virgin or born again Christian is the men. And it's compounded by the divorce laws and the family court system, the bias within the family court system. So, like I said, if we look at the definition of cup, that's basically describes trads because they're removing accountability from women. Yeah, and no, let's address this first because I want to get it one by one. I don't want to gish gallop. It's fine.
All right. Okay. Let me just respond to that quickly. All right. This has been first I want to say that you're taking this from what you've seen on X.
Not just X.
Not just X. Okay.
Yeah.
But would you say primarily X or what other places?
It was primarily X until about like 3 days ago when I actually deep dive, and I realized that you have Facebook groups doing the same thing. You have political channels on YouTube.
Okay.
It's a whole bunch of sources basically.
Okay. When I think of Tradcons, I think of traditional conservative. It's a traditional conservative political group, but it stems from Christianity. So when I think of Tradcons, I think of Christianity basically. So when I think of Christianity, there is nowhere in Christianity where it says I have to accept First of all, there's no in Christianity that says you're a born again virgin. All right, that doesn't exist in Christianity. That's made up. I don't know who made that up. That's nonsense. What else? The idea that if you don't accept a born again virgin, you don't believe in repentance. That is blasphemous.
I know.
That is
I know.
that is blasphemous. That has nothing to do. Listen, repentance has nothing to do with me accepting a born again virgin. I'm a Christian.
No. Do you want to know how they rationalize it?
Mm.
So they rationalize it by saying that because the woman has repented from a former lifestyle, right? So if you don't accept her, it means you fundamentally don't accept that people can be forgiven.
No. We accept. We call every sinner to forgiveness. Christianity is here to call every sinner to repentance. Christianity calls every sinner to repentance. That does not mean I have to accept you as a wife.
Yeah, but that's not how they see it.
It's fantastic that you've realized the error of your ways and you've had a moment of conversion that's allowed you to repent and change your life and turn your life to Christ, to follow the standards that Christ that Christ told us to follow. It's those things are wonderful. All those things are great. They're beautiful. I love it. If a woman came up to me and said, "No, I want to stop being a HO or a promiscuous woman, and I want to give my life to Christ," I would say, "You know what? I'm happy for you." Does that mean I have to marry you? Does that mean I have to make you my wife? No. No, that has nothing to do with Christianity. So whatever Tradcons are out there advocating for this, they are going against they're going against Christianity. They're going against their own standards. They're going against what Christianity teaches. All right, but first of all, there's no such thing as a born again virgin. Nothing. You are who you are, a sinner. According to Christianity, we're all sinners. So you repent to Christ, but I don't have to marry you. Right, so that's.
But you do agree that if this is the position, and I mean I told you I don't have time to go and source for the tweets. Now, if you want to do it in our own time, I can do that for you. But it's going to take a while. But do you fundamentally accept that if that is the position of Threads, it means they are cucks by the definition? Because remember what we said at the beginning. You said a core tenet of being a cuck is lack of accountability.
No, well, the way I define cuckold, is a cuckold is a husband who is okay with his wife sleeping with another man. That's a cuckold.
But that's not the definition I gave you.
Yeah,
and you accepted the definition.
If you're talking about lack of accountability, if you're talking about going against Tradcon standards, which comes from the Bible and Christianity, yes, I mean I can agree with what you're saying. I mean, because the definition that you gave was unmanly. If you can just put that up again, I forgot what it was. Because when I think of a cuckold, it's a married man who's okay with his wife.
No, that's one definition, but that's not the only definition.
Well, okay. If you're talking about, hold on a second. A cuck is a weak, effeminate, yeah, that's effeminate. Yeah, unmanly or inadequate man who often dominated by their female partner. Yeah, by that definition, any man who
the other one,
any man who perverts. Okay, hold on. A weak. Hold on a second. A weak or servile man, often used as contemptuous.
No, that's fine. That's just the explanatory notes. It's fine.
Okay. For example, this is what I'm trying to say. Like, that doesn't make sense because that's not what a Tradcon is. I don't know who these Tradcons are, but they're definitely not following Christianity. They're definitely not following traditional conservative values if they are preaching against Tradcon standards. But yeah, if I mean, I agree with you. If that's what the so-called Tradcons on Twitter primarily and other places are saying that this is what they have to do, then yeah, that makes them a cuck. if we're going to go by your definition, which is a
It's not
weak.
my definition.
Yeah, no. When I say your definition, I mean the definition that you brought up. A weak, effeminate man. That's what that is. Yeah, those men are
So-
weak and effeminate. Yeah.
Okay, no, good. I thought I was gonna have more pushback on this, but it's fine. So now that we've agreed that is cup behavior, your argument instead is that this is not the position adopted by true Tradcons, right?
No, not true. Just not the position adopted by
Okay,
traditional
very good.
men.
Can we play?
Traditional
Audio can be played, right?
Not men,
Yeah.
not men. Traditional conservative values.
Oh, so not true conservative. Okay.
No. It's not like our values are not our values are dependent on Christ. Christ is the standard, so we don't look at any man for as a measure of that standard.
Okay. So I mean, am I?
Oh,
is my
Dinesh.
Yeah.
I know
So
that.
I
Play
mean,
that
like,
video.
yeah, no, I am, but you can hear the sound, right?
Is he being a cuck?
No, he's not. He's actually explaining why I'm right.
Yeah, go ahead.
So before I play it, what you have basically done is called a no true Scotsman, which is basically if anyone falls short of the standards that you have set, it is suddenly they are not true Christians. They are not true Tradcons.
No, I never said that. I never said that.
You just said if you.
I said we have a standard. The standard is Christ, and we all have to live up to that standard. Does that make me not a Christian because I have to live up to that standard? No, I'm still a Christian.
No, not you.
Oh, okay.
You're talking about you're talking about the Trads that I'm talking about, which is the vast majority of what Trads think. You're saying that if they don't, that because they subscribe to this, they're not true Trads or they're not true religious people.
Yeah, I wouldn't accept that to be the majority. And what I would say is, for example, when you misrepresent what the value system is. So, for example, saying that if you don't marry a born again virgin, first of all, there is no such thing as born again virgin. So they're already going against what Christianity teaches, and then they're saying then you don't believe in repentance. That's blasphemous. You're going against what I don't know who these people are, but they're definitely not Tradcons, because a Tradcon would never say something that blasphemous. It's like you're putting this woman on some kind of pedestal and you're going against the Christian message.
No, I agree, but and this is okay. It's fine. We can just watch this. This will explain my position perfectly.
Dinesh D'Souza.
I can't hear it. Zero sound.
Yeah, I can't hear his
When you share audio, it doesn't work that way. I don't think.
It doesn't. Oh shit! You sure you can't?
I'm 100% sure. I'm 100%.
Can you hear it?
I can't hear.
I can't hear, but I mean, you can send me the link. I can pray on the private chat, and I'll play it. I'll play it that way if you want me to do that.
Copy it to the private chat. Yeah, that's it. And then give me.
Why doesn't it work with sound, man? What the hell?
I don't know.
I mean, it worked on my last one when I showed you guys the last one.
Oh yeah, it did work. So is this something on your end or what's going on?
It can't be mine. I'm using the same thing.
Yeah,
it's fine. I sent it to you. It's fine.
Okay, all right. Let me remove that. Hold on a second, guys. Sorry.
Shit, the chat is really dead, man.
Don't worry about it. It's gonna be a great. This might be one of the best shows we've ever done. You'll see, bro.
It's fine. I actually prefer it this way. We don't get interrupted.
You'll be surprised how many people watch afterwards. As Christians, where is he? Oh, there it is. Bang.
Around 244.
244. Yeah. Okay. 244.
Yeah, it's fine. 237 is fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
Socialism is to communism. Socialism is the economic wing of communism. Now, you're right. Marx didn't envision state takeovers of anything. But every actual socialist regime has done that. Every regime professing socialism has actually taken over industry and established government control over it, starting with Lenin. So I guess what I was doing is moving from Marxist theory to Marxist praxis, to action. And I don't know how to understand ideologies without looking at their practitioners. Imagine if somebody were to say that I profess true Christianity, but there are no Christians in the world. Everybody who actually says that they're a Christian is not a real Christian. I envision a Christianity that is not practiced by any so-called Christian. You'd be like, well, how do I make sense of what you're saying? All these people profess to be Christians, and if we can't look at what they think and what they believe and what they do, what is Christianity apart from Christians? So similarly, what is Marxism apart from Marxists who have actually tried to implement those ideologies?
Okay. And so this basically explains in a nutshell why you're wrong. It doesn't, like, you cannot look at Christianity without looking at its practitioners. And if majority of Christians are behaving a certain way, you can't just dismiss that as not true Christianity. Now, granted, the difference between this and, well, I wouldn't say it's that much of a difference, is that not all, I'm willing to say that a tiny fraction of Christians profess true Christianity and try to follow all tenets of the Bible, but that does not, I mean, that says more about the practicality of the religion than anything.
I don't. Okay, this comes down to how much knowledge you have on Christianity. This has to do with how much knowledge you have on the impact of Christianity in the Western world and in the world, period. This has to do with how many, how knowledgeable you are, how many real Christians are there, really.
But we know, like, I don't think we need a stat to know that the amount of people who actually follow the Bible to its T are in the ridiculously small minority.
I disagree. I disagree because that's just not true. I don't know what demographic or geographically what areas you're looking at, but that's just not true.
Globally,
If we first of all, Christianity is established by Christ, and do people do an extremely bad job of following Christianity? Some do. Okay, not the majority, because otherwise, if the majority did a really bad job of following Christianity, Christianity wouldn't have had the impact that it has had in the world. So loads of people, I mean, Christianity is the biggest religion in the world.
In 2024, not in the 1950s.
I know, no, but
in 2024.
In 2024, it's 2.4 billion people. Christianity is still the biggest religion in the world. And Christianity, for what it stands for its values, is the only thing going against the grain, really and truly. So if you're talking about, I mean, the people that you described, hold on, the things that you've even said are against Christianity. Like, for example, the idea of a born again virgin. That's against Christianity. That's not even something that Christianity teaches. The idea that if you don't marry a born again virgin, then you don't believe in repentance. That's against Christianity. That's blasphemous. So it even goes against the very values of Christianity. And this idea that all Christians are bad and there's only a tiny percentage, it's just not true. It's just not true.
Really? Okay. How many people in the world do you think profess themselves as Christians as a percentage?
2.4 billion.
So that's way less than 50%, right?
Yes, 2 point. I mean, 9 billion
The
people.
global population is around 9 or 8 billion.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So 2 point whatever, that's about 2%. Sorry, 20%.
So, did you want me to share this?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
You don't need to. I'm done with the screens.
All right. Okay.
So already the global population is about 8 to 9 billion. That puts Christianity in like the tens to low 20s of percentage, which means they are already statistically in the vast minority. Now, if you look at the 2.4 billion,
Into what?
no, you said there are 2.4 billion Christians, right?
There are 2.4 billion. We're talking about religion here. Are you comparing?
Yeah.
Are you comparing Christianity to other religions, or are you comparing Christianity against the entire population of the world?
No, I'm comparing it to the entire. You said there are 2.4 billion Christians in the world, right?
Remember, I'm talking about religion.
Yeah. I mean, 2.4 billion Christians, right?
Yeah.
So the total global population now is 8 to 9 billion. I can't remember what the exact number is.
Mm-hmm.
It's 8 to 9 billion, which means the amount of people who are Christians, remember these are people who just say they are Christians, is already
You don't know that.
around 18 to like 22%. That already puts them in the statistical minority. And then on top of that, remember, these are people who just say they are Christians. That doesn't necessarily speak to whether they actually follow the tenets of Christianity. Christians by name, in other words. How many? I mean, now this is your. I mean, I obviously don't have any stats for this. No one can have any stats for this. But just based on common sense and knowing the idea of how people behave and how people like to find religion towards the end of their life or whatever, or they use religion as a get out of jail free card, they're like a piece of shit. How many out of that 20% or 18 to 22% of the global population who profess themselves as Christians do you really think are actual Christians?
I couldn't tell you.
Just common sense. It's literally, come on, man. You know the answer to this. It's just common sense.
I couldn't tell you because what you're doing is you're making a judgment.
I am based on common sense of how human beings react, and the fact that we currently live in a society that is not religious as well across the globe.
That's very much dependent upon your circle and the people you interact with.
So why are there only 2.4 billion Christians then?
Why there are only 2.4 billion Christians?
Remember, 18 to 22%.
Why
is it? It's already in the statistical. I don't actually even need to bring up this part of the argument. Just the fact that it's 18 to 22% already proves my point.
We are not in the statistical minority when it comes to other religions.
What?
We understand. We are the majority when compared to other religions.
Yeah, that just means other religions are worse. It doesn't mean that you're good.
No, it just means that Christianity did a better job. Christianity managed to convert more people than any other religion.
Sure, but you're still in the minority. 18 to 22% is the minority, so you're not mostly religious. So the idea that there are plenty of Tradcons running around professing true Christianity is already wrong, because as a percentage of the global population, you don't.
What you're doing is it's a false comparison. It's like you're comparing it. It's like if I was to compare the entire Islamic, Hindu, or let's say the Hindu religion or the Sikh religion to the entire world. Right? It's a false comparison. You can't make.
No, it's not, because that was your position.
No,
your position was that trads are running you're saying that not all trads are like this, or not all people follow these biblical standards. That in fact your claim was that most people follow the biblical standards. Is just not true, because already you start from a standpoint of you being the vast minority of the population, and then on top of that you have to take in the fact that not all Christians who say they are Christians actually act like Christians.
No,
so when it comes to
you're making too many judgments, bro. You're making these judgments about all people, and not too many people are Christians. Like
I used your own figures.
No,
You
have.
said 2.4 billion Christians. That means it's 18 to
Let me just say
20% of
something.
the population.
Let me just say something. No, because what I said is Christianity is the biggest religion in the world, which it is, when compared to other religions. Okay, not when Christianity. You can't compare it to the entire population of the world. You really can't do that. That's a false comparison. Now, for you to make a judgment on how what every Christian is and whether they or how much they follow the religion, how much they not follow the religion, that's a judgment that you can't make. We can't actually get. There's no truth in that. I mean, I don't know how to reply to all Christians don't follow the religion. That's how do I know that? How do
No,
you know?
actually, we can, because the whole basis of this argument was that people don't live up to the biblical standards. So we can include people who don't follow Christianity.
Okay, well, what's your understanding of Christianity?
Do non-Christians live up to biblical standards?
How do we measure that? Is it through Sunday?
Yeah.
Like how many go to church on a Sunday, or I'm just
No, I
trying
mean,
to get
well,
some-
I mean, just based on the fact that we're talking about trads, right? So naturally, anyone who is not a trad already falls outside that bracket, right?
yes.
Yeah, so that's my point. So if Octavio wants to use the standard that of living up to biblical standards, it already means any non-trad falls outside that standard, right?
Yeah, yes.
So that's my point. So you are already starting off with a 2.4
No truth.
out
No
of
true Scotsman argument. Is that what it is?
sorry?
A no true Scotsman. Is that?
Yeah, no, he was making a no true Scotsman. So I'm telling him why it's wrong, because
Would it be fair? So Octavio might say, if a Christian says,
I don't understand the argument. It just doesn't make sense.
What? 1 second, just so we can get somewhere. If a Christian says it's okay for gay weddings to be done in church or something like this, and he points out that Christian isn't practicing Christianity, is that a no true Scotsman argument, or is he just pointing out a person just falsifying the foundational beliefs of the faith?
No, that person probably isn't a true Christian.
Okay, so should we not just ignore them? Why should we?
Because
why would they? Yeah. Okay.
Because we're talking about the number of people who actually practice the biblical standards. That's the point I'm trying to get.
Okay. Can you give me the number of people that practice the biblical standards?
I mean, I literally just took your figures. You said that the amount of like people who self-profess as Christians is 2.4 billion, right?
Okay.
You said I'm telling you right now, I can go search it actually.
No. I want to know. Okay.
Yeah, no. I'm
let me just say, you said.
No. I'm giving you.
You can tell me the number of people that practice.
So the global population is 8.1 billion. That means the number of practicing Christians, according to your not practicing but self-professed Christians, who, according to your stats, is 2.4 divided by 8.1 times 100%. 29 is about 30%.
Yes, we're not counting the Hindus though, or the Muslims.
Yeah, no. Because we're not, because like the Christians don't accept that any other god is their gods or any other so it doesn't matter. So we're at 29%.
Mm-hmm.
Now, out of the 29 self-professed Christians,
how many?
Like I said, there are no stats on this, but I think like it's common sense that anyone that just because you say you're Christian doesn't mean you're actually practicing Christianity.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't answered the question. How many? Hold on, answer. How many practice Christianity?
Definitely less than 29%.
Okay, you haven't given me a number, and
I mean, like I told you, that's why I didn't need to get into this.
Let me ask the question. You said you can tell me how many people practice.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Claim Christians. And he's using your figures. He's using your figures.
Yeah, I'm using your figures.
He said 2.5 billion, and let's say 2.5 billion claim Christians.
He said 2.4, so it's about 29%.
Okay,
20% global population.
Okay, there are 2.4 billion Christians in the world. What is your argument now?
That's a good one.
The argument is that, remember, because we started off this conversation by talking about how many people actually live up to biblical standards.
Okay, now
That
tell me
means-
how many people out of the 2.4
That
billion
means a maximum of 30% of the population, or 29% actually, lives up to biblical standards. But it is common sense that not everyone who says they practice a religion actually carries out their religion in their
And how
daily life.
did you measure that?
Does every Christian carry out? I mean,
Logically speaking,
logically,
everybody-
man, like
Yeah.
just based on what I was saying, you just came up with the idea of born again virgins.
But in
So
all
I mean,
fairness, in all
if-
fairness,
if-
Alex, even if it's 50%, that's still 1 billion people.
no, but the argument was that the
Guys,
statistical
can I just talk for
representation
one
of the population.
Can I just talk for 1 second, please?
Go ahead.
Listen, there are 2.4 billion Christians in the world. Fantastic, great. All right. In comparison to everyone else, I think you came up with a figure of 29%. I don't care. Okay, now you're trying to tell me that you know that common sense tells you that apparently none of these or it's a small percentage that of these Christians that practice Christianity.
No, I
Is
said
that
less
what
than
you're trying to tell me?
29%.
That's what you're trying to tell me.
No, I said less than 29%. I said the
You said
maximum is 29%.
so less than 2.4 billion people that practice Christianity but yet profess to be Christians. I just want to know how you arrived at that conclusion.
It's very, very simple. Did we not just agree at the start of the podcast that there are people who go around saying that born again virgins, and if you don't believe it, you're not repentant?
Yes.
Are those people who you think follow the tenets of Christianity?
If you don't follow the tenets of Christianity, then you are not a Christian.
Right. So you don't believe those people follow the tenets, right?
No, I
Because
don't.
you just said they're blaspheming, right?
Yeah, they are
So
blaspheming.
that so already just even the existence of one person who does that means the figure is definitely below 29, right?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I
Let's
wouldn't,
carry on with that.
hold on. I wouldn't count them as Christians.
But they
Alex,
Why-
if I could just
Yeah.
interrupt for a second. So you would not profess they're Christians because they don't live up to the biblical standard.
No, I
Objectively
never said
speaking,
live up- I never said live up to.
or they don't accept a biblical standard, objectively speaking, because they're blaspheming, right? Right?
No.
Because they're blaspheming by definition.
If you don't, look, if I say Jesus is not God, I'm not a Christian.
Correct.
Nothing to do with whether with it has to do with what you believe in.
Correct.
Believe
people
But they would
claim
still-
they are Christians.
Alex,
That's the
Alex,
point.
Alex, I'm with you. I'm just gonna.
Yeah, I know. I know
Yeah.
you are, but
I'm just gonna get Octavio just to
Yeah.
because we can get there. So for something far simpler, Jesus is not the Son of God. Would somebody who says that be classified as a Christian? No, by Octavio's definition, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Now you would argue by the biblical standard, because the Bible says, by your interpretation, the Bible says that Jesus is the Son of God. By your interpretation, so objectively speaking, they're not Christians, but they will still come under the figure of 2.4 billion because they're self-proclaimed. Now, Alex is pointing out the discrepancy between the self-proclaimed number and the actual practices of those individuals in that collective. So there's a gap between you call yourself a Christian, but you don't even have the basic beliefs of Christianity.
No, that's
Did I represent your perspective?
incorrect.
Well, Alex,
Incorrect.
is that right?
No, that's
Yes.
incorrect. That's
Okay.
incorrect.
Go ahead, guys.
There are specific tenets that a person must believe in order to be called a Christian. And if you don't believe in these tenets, you're not a Christian. And one of them is that Jesus is God. If for example, if you look at Jehovah's Witnesses, all right, they are not Christians. So we don't count them in those 2.4 billion. We don't count Hebrew Israelites in those 2.4 billions. We
We're
don't
getting,
count,
we're,
we
we're
don't
getting
count,
somewhere. Yeah,
we
we're
don't
getting
count
somewhere.
any of that. So
really, who does the
hold on
verification?
a second. Hold on. A Christian is someone who believes in the tenets of Christianity. For anyone to turn around and say, do they live up to? It's impossible to know whether they live up to or don't live up to because there is no data on it. This is why this is why the entire argument is illogical. It doesn't make
No,
sense.
it's not. Octavio, how do you measure 2.4? How do you get that figure? It must be just
That's a
based
good
on,
question. That's a good
it
question.
must just be on people who you ask them, are you Christian? And they say yes or no, right?
How? Say that again.
How do you get the 2.4 billion Christians figure? The only way to collect that data is to go around and ask people, are you Christian? Yes or no? Because
No.
you cannot have a study whereby you monitor someone's everyday life for an extended period of time, 2.4 billion people at minimum, and observe every day what they do, and then decide if it conforms to someone's standards of Christianity. Remember,
That's not how you.
The 2.4 is an estimate, by the way.
That's
So
not how.
yeah. No, but I'm saying like just in general to get the estimate figure.
Okay,
There's no way you can follow everyone around and monitor, and not to forget that the testers are also the testers, the people who judge whether you're real Christians or not in studies, also have their own biases. So
Yes.
I mean, just going according to that, it doesn't necessarily mean that because they say there are 2.4 billion Christians, that those 2.4 billion Christians actually practice Christianity. They just practice Christianity according to their standards. So knowing that the only methodology is to go around and ask people yes or no, yes or no, yes or no, without any real verification method, you then cannot say that they are living up, that non-true Christians aren't under the umbrella of the 2.4.
Can I speak now without being interrupted? All right. This is not how you collect. I didn't want you to go in on this whole tirade because that's not how you. You don't go around asking people, "Are you Christian? Are you Christian? Are you Christian?" And whichever number you get at the end, this is what you're going to go for. You look at the Christian denominations that exist. You look at the Catholics. How many people attend church? You look at the Methodists. You look at the you look at the Orthodox. You look at the Coptic. You look at the churches and how many people attend the church. Attend church. How many people? This is how you decide. This is how they came up with the 2.4 billion. They didn't go around asking individual people, "Are you a Christian? Are you a Christian? Are you a Christian?" We have things like baptism. How many people have been baptized? How many people have been? That's another way of counting how many Christians there are. It's through baptisms. I don't know if you guys have ever. Well,
okay, can we use that thing, baptism? Do you think people who are baptized, once they are baptized, do you think that automatically makes them a Christian for life, in the sense that they practice all the tenets of Christianity?
Oh, Octavio, just
okay.
Do you want to respond? Or you want to carry on?
No, because
we might be getting to the weeds, I guess.
Does everyone follow every Christian tenet? No, as soon as you're baptized, you are Christian. It's impossible to measure. It's impossible to measure. It's literally impossible to measure how many people follow every single tenet of Christianity.
It's easier. It's just a question. The Christian beliefs.
For example, okay, do I know that? Do I know that this person? Do I know that this person hasn't told a lie ever since they've been baptized? How do I know that this person hasn't told a single lie since the day he was baptized? How do I know that this person? That's impossible to measure.
What if he gets baptized and then he's one of those who, after he gets baptized, he says that, "Oh, I don't think lying is bad. I don't think lying is against the Bible." Would he still, under the study that you mentioned that collected the 2.4, for a guy who gets baptized, because you said that's how the church measures how the studies measure how many Christians there are, right? After he gets baptized, say 2 months later, he says that, I think lying is acceptable by the Bible.
Before you respond, Octavio, if you don't mind, Alex, we might be going into the weeds here because there's an unlimited number of variables. Because then there could be how many Christians have girlfriends, how many Christians have gone to church.
But Hassan, we don't really need to go into that, because the point is that whatever it is, as soon as someone, the 29% is the upper limit.
Yes.
Which means anytime someone falls short, they automatically go below 29%. which is my point.
Which
Because
is
his
fine.
question was, how do you know not everyone is a practicing? That's how I know.
If a person,
I
okay, I
if,
can,
I don't know if the number is 9% or 10%, but I know it's definitely less than 29%.
okay. If to answer Alex's question, if a person who is baptized turns around tomorrow and says lying is, the Bible says lying is good, obviously he's sinning, because the Bible says that lying is bad, is a sin, and then what he needs to do is needs to repent for the sin that he has just committed. That's what he needs to do.
I know that he's sinning, but is he counted within the 2.4 figure for the purposes of your
Yes,
study?
because what he's doing is just sinning. Because
Right. So he's
hold
then
on,
he's not practicing the tenets.
hold on. Now, if he starts a church where he goes, Christianity, lying is good, he's not a Christian.
But he's counted in the figures. That's my point. So I'm saying using the standard of baptism or whatever standard that you want to use, the one-stop mechanism standards to determine whether someone is a Christian or not is not a good way of identifying. Because then I can say a lot of these trads have also been through baptism or whatever the verification. Maybe they went to church one time or whatever, and that's how you collect the data. But after that, they start spouting stuff like, we believe in born again virgins, and there's no way for the study to counter measure that.
That's a good point. It's a good point.
Which
Oh,
means that that the figure of 29% is an upper limit figure.
no, that what you're saying is a person that you don't know on Twitter claims to be a Tradcon, claims to be a Christian, and says outrageous things that are anti-Christian. I don't know these people that you know on Twitter. I don't know who they are. I don't
You
know.
don't need to.
Hold on a second. I don't know if they've been baptized in a church, because anyone can go on Twitter. Twitter is just social media. Anyone can go on Twitter and say anything. They can call themselves Tradcons, they can call themselves Christians, Catholics, they can call themselves atheists, they can call themselves anything, evolutionists, red pill, and they can say outrageous things that goes against the tenets of that belief system. I don't know who they are. So me personally, my advice to you would be, I wouldn't, unless you have more information on who these people are that are saying these things, I wouldn't put too much weight on what you're saying right now.
That's a good objection, Alex. His objection
No.
how is the collection data collected?
Yeah, no. So
so
he's
forth.
doubting the credentials of the people, which is fair enough. But then, like, you cannot, like, again, this is a no true Scotsman. You can't just say that anyone who preaches this and then assume that they're definitely not Christian. Just common sense will tell you, like, it's literally just common sense that people online who profess this kind of thing, yes, some of them might be trolling, they might not be actual Christians, but there are some who actually are actual Christians. Which
I don't know. Sorry to interrupt you, Alex. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. Which would fall within the 2.4% figure. That's all. 2.4 million figure.
My answer to that is I don't know. I don't know who these people are. Usually, when it comes to, I mean, we've already established how with the side whatever some how we came about with the 2.3 billion number to do with the number of people that have been baptized. Now, if someone goes on Twitter, a social media platform, and turns around and starts calling themselves Christians and saying that born again virgins, that Christians should marry born again virgins and all that. I mean, I don't know who these people are. I mean, I look, as a Christian, I find it hard to believe that these people are Christians. Okay, because I just know a Christian wouldn't say that. Well, hold on. Let me stop there. Christians are we have a sinful nature. We do sin, but for the majority, they wouldn't say that. Christians just wouldn't say that. But let's say they are Christians and they said that. How do we know?
Really, how would you know that the majority wouldn't say that? Don't use the argument that because the Bible doesn't say so, because
No,
you just said
I wasn't going to use that argument. I was going to say I've never met a Christian. I'll use my personal experience. I would say I never met anyone like that. I just haven't.
So you know what the issue with that is, right? Already, right? You're using your personal experiences.
Yeah.
Your personal experiences don't necessarily reflect reality.
And what are you using?
I'm using the statistical argument.
No.
Okay, so if you really want evidence of this, no, I am. So I mean, like, if you really want evidence of this, then based on your thing, all I would have to show is one scandal in a church or whatever to show you that the number falls below 29%. Because those people in the church would be recognized as Christians according to your study. So as long as I can point out one study that shows you a church who doesn't really follow these things, that will be enough to completely defeat your argument, right?
No, if you get a church tomorrow that preaches something that goes against Christianity, what you're usually going to find is a lot of Christians will turn around and say, that's not what Christianity teaches.
Yeah, but that makes it fall below 29%.
Usually they won't fall under the fold of Christianity.
But they did, because they were registered as a church.
What do you mean? Well, a scandal? Like what?
So if I showed you an institution that was that had a scandal or whatever, or had somebody contravening the religious beliefs of Christianity, then that will automatically mean that the number of, because your claim is that 29% of Christians are true Christians, right?
Yes, because if you've been baptized, you are a true Christian.
So if there are people,
let me just finish the last bit. If does that mean that every single Christian lives up to for example, have never lied, have always been perfect, and have always followed every single thing? No.
Then that proves my point.
What point?
Because you can call yourself Christians, but you don't necessarily follow. Your definition of it is people don't call themselves Christians, but follow but have been baptized. That's what makes them Christians. So I'm telling you, in the same way, that people who can be baptized, if that's the standard that you want to use, and not follow traditional trad beliefs. For example, they can be baptized and still claim that born-again virgins exist, and they would still fall under the 2.4 million figure according to what you just said.
No, there's a difference between belief in Christianity. There's a difference between that, and there's a difference between what you do, what you say. So, for example, if a person believes in the tenets of Christianity, there's a difference between that and trying to change what Christianity teaches. But
I'm saying for the purposes of reporting the data, the 2.4 stat, they would still fall under it. Whether you would personally call them Christians or not is not the question here. I'm just saying that would automatically mean that the 29% figure is the highest you can go for the purposes of reporting. Hassan, do you understand my point?
I don't get your argument, bro.
I get your argument.
You trying to say that Christians are not Christians?
He's saying there's a simple classification for a Christian because it's self-declared, but in terms of how, in actuality, or truth on the ground, in terms of how they practice their faith, cannot live up to a 2.4 billion number, right?
But they would still be classified under the 2.4.
I can make that argument. For example, do people live up to everything that they said they believe in life? I can look at any ideology. I can look at any.
Sure, you could. But that's my point.
Let me just finish.
That's his point.
Let me just finish. I can look at any ideology, any religion, anything at all, and not one single person on earth lives absolutely perfectly according to their beliefs.
And then his argument is that what are they practicing? And then he's going to establish a trend from there, what they're practicing, and you've accepted it yourself. You just said just because it's not possible that 2.4 billion people live up truly to the Christian standard, even though they're self-declared Christians, right? You've just said that right now.
No,
just say that.
There's a difference between identifying as a Christian And
Yeah.
there's a difference between that and saying
Yeah.
something that goes against Christianity. So, for
Okay.
example,
Fair
if I say I'm a Christian, what makes me a
Yeah.
Christian? I'm a Christian because I've been baptized in the church. I'm a Christian because I've been confirmed. I'm a Christian because I've taken these sacraments. All right. Now, there's a difference between that and saying, now I don't believe that Jesus is God.
Okay. 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 Octavio.
That's
Alex.
completely
Octavio.
different.
Okay. Okay. Alex. Octavio's set a really decent stand with. We're
No,
sort of
I agree with
moving
you.
forward with the
Point. Hassan, that wasn't my point.
yeah.
My point is that means it is possible to claim that
Yes.
you are a Christian and
Yes.
not follow trad beliefs.
Traditional
Right?
Christian beliefs. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
And he just
Because
accepted.
in the same way that it is possible for a Christian to self-proclaim as Christian and not live a lifestyle of a Christian, it is also
Yes.
possible for a trad to
Absolutely.
proclaim
I
that he's a
agree with
trad
that.
and
Yes.
not live the lifestyle of a trad. So
I-
I'm telling you. So
I
that,
agree with that. There's a lot of sinners
Okay.
here.
Yeah.
There's
then
a
why
lot
are
of
you arguing with me? That's my whole point. That's my whole point.
No, but
And-
you trying to
and,
quantify that as if hold on. My point was you're trying to quantify that as if you know that, for example, you're trying to, there's no statistics on people's personal lives and how much they live up to their religion or not. There isn't. What you've given is anecdotal evidence of people that you've seen, for example,
social
on
media.
No,
social
no.
media. And that's not representative of 2.4 billion people.
Okay,
No,
Octavio,
my whole point is that
Octavio, let Alex respond and carry on with his argument. Go on.
my whole point is that as long as I can identify one person
Sure.
who says he's a trad but doesn't practice trad beliefs, that already means the 29% figure is not accurate.
Which is fair. He said that as well. It's fine.
Then why is he arguing with me? That's my whole point.
No,
My
but
point.
that's no. Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. There are 20. Let's say there's 29% Christians. All right.
In the
And
world.
these Christians, all of them don't live up to 100% of the Christian tenets, but they all believe in all the Christian tenets. Hold on. What's the argument here?
Are you telling me that
it's
there are
less than
Christians who
20
don't believe in born again virgins?
Hold on. That there is less than 29%?
Yes.
Yeah, you're saying there's less than 29% what that don't that do what that because
That's a good question. That's a good question.
every
Go on,
hold on,
Alex.
every
Alex.
Christian
Hassan,
every
answer this
Christian
question.
has sinned.
Let him answer. Let him answer.
I'm not
It's a good
talking about
question.
sinning. Why do you always take it back to repentance? That's not my point.
Octavio asked
I
a good
didn't even
question.
say the word repentance. You guys are just not.
No, because you keep going to the idea that, oh, everyone sins, not everyone lives a perfect. That's not my point.
What's
My
your
point
Alex?
is that
Yeah.
a key pillar of Christianity is the pillars of Tradcons as well, which is the belief that a born again virgin does not exist.
Okay.
And I'm saying that there are Christians out there who believe that born again virgins exist.
That's a tenet. That's a tenet.
Yes, and that is a tenet of Christianity. So my whole point of this is that 29% is an is a maximum figure. That's all I'm saying.
We'll let Octavio speak now.
If you go against the tenet of Christianity, okay, the actual belief tenet, then you're not a Christian. If you sin, if you fall short of the, hold on, can I finish? If you fall short of the glory of the standard that Christ set, okay, which is called sinning, then you are still a Christian. But if you, for example, start going around and saying things like, born again virgin is a virgin,
yeah,
that is against Christianity. If you go
disqualification.
If you go to turn around and start saying things like, if you don't think she's she's a virgin, then it's the same as you don't believe in repentance. That is blasphemous. You're going against the tenets of Christianity. There's two different.
I agree, but they will be counted within the statistical reporting.
He made a good objection, Alex. He said if they make up their own tenets, they automatically are disqualified, whether they're counted or not.
No, Hassan, because he just said that the method of measuring whether they're Christian or not is baptizing.
But they can be disqualified.
But they wouldn't, because how would you measure that? Are you going to follow up with the study?
You would measure that because you said you have data that you've seen on social media and various other sites of Tradcons saying making up their own tenets.
But how, Hassan,
he will accept
get baptized, if you get baptized, then if you get baptized and you change your beliefs later on,
yes,
then how would that be verified under the 29%?
That's I don't know.
How would you know?
Exactly. It wouldn't be able to be verified because you're not going to do a follow-up study 10 years later and keep revising the figure, the 2.4 billion figure. However, it's been there for quite a while.
The only thing that's verified, I mean, if I'm going to speak objectively, it's because we've got the documents. How many people have been baptized. That's the only thing that's verifiable. If you're talking about
Okay, hang on. The documents that have been baptized from how long ago? What year?
Let me just finish. Going on Twitter and going on X and saying I've seen this and I've seen that. That's not.
Octavio, the documents that show baptism from what year?
Sorry?
From what year?
From what year? What?
The documents that record baptisms, what year were those documents created?
Depends when the person was baptized.
So is it possible then that someone was baptized in 2015 and they have changed their beliefs to believe in born-again virgins, but the statistical reporting would not have captured that and not been able to kick them out from the Christian statistic?
No, if they publicly announced, or they went to their church and they publicly announced,
what if they don't? What if they don't? Like most people, they don't.
Alex, can I finish? If they publicly announced that they think that the Virgin Mary was not a virgin, they think that blah blah blah, so they go against the tenets. What we have something called excommunication. We got something.
I know.
We got procedures in place to put that person out of the church.
And what if they don't publicly announce it?
Oh, then I wouldn't be able to know that.
Oh, so that's my point.
I wouldn't be able to know that.
Right, so that's my point.
Okay, but how do you know that?
Are you really trying to tell me that everyone who decides to not follow Catholic beliefs or whatever announces it publicly to the church?
What I'm really trying to tell you is I don't know, therefore I'm not going to make a judgment. What you're telling me is you do know, so you're going to make a judgment.
It's based on common sense because not everyone will go around and
is that the majority or the minority? Is that the majority or the minority?
It doesn't matter whether it's the majority or minority, as long as it happens once, it falls below the 29%.
Okay, let's say it's 28%.
Okay, so you finally conceded that the figure is below.
No, I'm trying to see where you're going with the argument.
Yeah, let's go with the argument. We're not getting stuck in the mud.
Let's say 28%, because the thing is, these are things that I don't know. You're asking me things that I can't objectively prove. But you're saying, oh, you know what, common sense would dictate that, and I'm like, okay, that's why I asked is it the majority or the minority? And you said, well, you don't know that either.
Like I said, this was a secondary argument. We didn't really need to get into it because just based on the 29% figure, the whole argument at the beginning was that majority of people do not hold themselves to your Christian level of standards. The figure at maximum is 29%.
Yeah, I believe that the majority of people do follow Christianity. And
what the fuck? Oh my God!
Calm down.
Is it a majority or minority?
Alex, don't have a fit. Come on.
No, because this is stupid. Is 29% a majority or minority?
I don't think it means a global population. I think
hold on, Alex. I don't accept your premise when you compare a religion to the majority of the population. When I say the Christianity is the biggest religion, I'm comparing it to other religions. What you're doing is you're trying to compare it to the majority of the population, and that is just incorrect.
No, how can it be incorrect if this is the topic that we're discussing? It's not an incorrect.
That's the topic that we are discussing.
Octavio, if you just mute yourself just for 1 second, literally 2 seconds. In all fairness, he's not making the argument that the global population is Christian. He's just saying that the greatest religious population is the Christians, and he said that consistently. And he's now accepted the idea that it's not necessarily, for the argument's sake, 29% are completely committed. Let's say, for the argument's sake, it's 28%, and let's go down that path. Do you consider
No,
that?
Hassan, my whole point is
Yeah.
just that the majority of the world does
Yes.
not follow trad
Which is fine.
belief.
Which is fine, but we're
That's
here. We're here
all
saying
I'm saying.
Tradcons.
Okay,
Which is
the
fine.
majority. Okay, the majority of the world does not follow Christianity.
Christianity. Fair
Okay,
enough.
what's the point?
I.e., trad beliefs. That was all I
Yeah.
was saying.
Okay, fine.
Oh
What's-
my god! Which is why that was my whole point when I was discussing. You see what I mean? We just
What's
wasted.
the
40
point,
minutes.
Alex?
I need to remember now because you purposely dragged me off the road, right? Talking about 40 for something for 40 minutes.
Because you're making judgments that will not, did not
Because you
make
just ended
sense.
up agreeing with me. You ended up agreeing with
No,
me.
I didn't, because I don't think that was your initial point. If you'd have said to me, Nelson, if you'd have said to me, Nelson, do you agree that the majority of the world is not Christian because there's only 2.4 billion of you and there's 9 billion? I consistently told you that, bro, I'm talking about the religion. I'm not talking about in comparison to the entire bloody world. Yes, we are not. But when you look
That
at
was my
when you
point.
look at this, hold on, 2.3 billion Christians, then you have to what 1.8 billion figure. So now that becomes what when you look at the majority of them are religions, basically. But if you're going to compare it just Christianity against the world, yes, of course, the majority is not Christian, bro. What's the point?
That was my point. There was no additional point to that. That was just
Okay,
my
I want
point.
you to watch your back, Alex, and tell me if that's the point that you were making.
That is my point. I want you to watch it back too.
I will, and you'll see it.
Yeah, and you will. You will.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair
It's
enough.
literally just my. You
Sure,
just
so-
derailed the conversation for 40 minutes, agreeing with me.
Did you get your next point? Is that what you're trying
Yeah,
to tell?
okay, fine,
Did you
sure.
actually have
Right.
a point?
What?
Did you have a point?
Yeah, I did. I told you I was going into my next point. I just wanted
Which
to
is-
cement it.
Okay,
Before
you're
we
going
got
through
to
this
the
line
point.
of reasoning. Okay, so you remembered your point now, yeah?
Yeah, the point.
We're getting there.
Because our original point was talking about the ways in which trads behave to show that they are servile or weak men.
Mm.
Another way in which this demonstrates this, I get and now I'm using specific examples of trads at this point.
Which is good.
Like I was mentioning on the last podcast, Michael Knowles praising Destiny for getting married without a prenup. Just the fact of him doing that means, I mean, like he basically advocates for men to be at the mercy of women. That's a subservient thing to do.
Can I reply?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, sorry, no, bro. If you wanna keep making
No, sure. As in, go ahead.
Yeah.
About Michael Knowles praising who? Praising
Destiny for getting married without a prenup, and that
Who
was
is
under his
who? Okay. Okay. First of
that
all,
was under his broader belief that men should get married without prenups.
This is
I
a
believe-
what if
I believe
episode.
that too. I believe
Whatever.
that too. So what was the question?
He was given that as an example of that being subservient or something like something.
Yes,
Is that right?
yeah. No, I don't think it's subservient. I think it's it's what men will put on earth for, which is to follow our gender roles. Our gender roles is to protect and provide for a woman. Of course, Michael Knowles is a Christian, so he's operating on a different set of morals. He's not operating under what do you call it? Hedonistic, liberal, mindset. So he's operating under a Christian belief system. The Christian belief system tells us that a man must protect and provide for a woman. So this idea of prenup is a very recent idea. Most men never considered that. For all throughout human history, we never considered prenup as something. Because people stayed married, and most Christians that believe in Christianity and follow the tenets of Christianity, they tend to stay married. And we want the world to go back to how it used to be, not what it currently is.
But you don't do that. The idea that you just follow the beliefs held that's written in the Bible, regardless of social change, that means retardant to social change. You don't react to it, and you don't react to how the laws have changed and how a prenup is now used as a weapon instead of not having a prenup is used as a weapon instead of being evidence of a strong familial bond that no longer conforms with marriage as the Bible denotes it. So you cannot say that it's still following the Bible.
Yeah,
when in
that's
reality, what happens when you don't have a prenup is, for all practical purposes, the man becomes enslaved to the woman.
um okay. This is why Christian men marry Christian women, equally yoked. And this is why Christianity is not about conforming to society. Christianity is about changing society. So a Christian man, and if you're a Christian man and you married a woman that's not Christian, well, that's your fault. You should have made a better judgment. You should have followed the Bible. So, for most Christian, when we look at Christian history and how Christianity has impacted society, has changed societies from pagans to believing in God societies, we have plenty of reason, we have plenty of evidence to believe that Christianity works and it's the best solution for humanity, because Christianity is not about conforming to society. Society, Christianity is about changing society to reflect Christian beliefs. So yeah, I would tell any man to marry a Christian woman that believes in Christian values, and then there won't be no need for prenups and all of that nonsense.
Unfortunately, you saying there will be no need is a presumptive statement of what might happen in the future. It does not reflect reality now. Reality is that men and women are not equally yoked. A man is far more yoked than a woman is. Okay. And then on top of that, if you want to talk about Michael Knowles talking about just marry Christian men or whatever, then you shouldn't be giving advice to Destiny, who isn't a Christian. But he holds the same belief in not having a prenup for non-Christian and Christian men. So, I mean, this idea that he was doing it based off his only for Christians or whatever is just wrong.
You said something in the beginning. What did you say in the beginning again? I'm forgetting.
Men and women are not equally yoked.
Men and women are not equally yoked. Yeah. Oh, that's it. That's it. That's what I was going to reply. Bro, throughout Christian history, we've seen generation after generation, Christian marriages work just fine. Even today, the majority of people that tend to be most married are religious people, not um, uh, not the other way around. So we know that it's we know how important it is when a person follows the tenets of Christianity, because they are more likely to stay married. This is why it's important to be equal. When you say no, men and women are not equally yoked, I don't believe that one bit, because we've got an entire 2000 history to draw from, to look at. And we've dealt with more harsher situations in societies that were more opposed to Christianity than this, even though it's getting worse. But we've dealt with worse. I mean, they literally trying to kill us. So and we still didn't conform to society. So no, I don't agree with you one bit.
Whether you believe it or not is irrelevant, because the motivation, the objective force, the law, which you can look at, states otherwise. Whether you subjectively believe that men and women are equally yoked is irrelevant, because the objective reality is otherwise.
The objective reality, how?
The laws.
But it's my
The very
belief. But it's my moral belief that determines whether I will be my marriage will survive or not. Not the
It
laws.
doesn't matter. Your moral belief is irrelevant in this case. We're talking about whether men or women are equally yoked in marriage. That is an objective measurement.
No, Alex. My moral belief is what determines whether I stay together or not. Not the law.
This is like me saying that if I jump into a vat of acid, I'm not in pain. My legs
No,
aren't getting burned away.
Alex.
The objective reality states otherwise. My legs are getting burned away. So whether you think you are in pain or you think that your legs are not getting burned away is irrelevant, because I can see it with my own two eyes that it's happening.
Alex, it's the choices that people make that determines whether those two people stay together or not, and that is dependent upon their moral. That is dependent upon their morality, what they believe is right and wrong. It's not dependent on the law. The law could incentivize women to do all types of fuckery. It wouldn't make a difference if those two people believe in those truly believe in their tenets, in the moral tenets. Believe you me, they're going to stay together regardless.
Equally yoked is not a moral term. It is an objective term. It means equally burdened. And the reality is that men and women are not equally burdened, regardless of whether you think that they might stick together because of their beliefs or whatever. The objective reality means that they are not equally burdened.
Men and women are different, but we can be morally equally yoked. Meaning, a woman can believe just as fervently, just as strong as I do in the Christian tenets.
That's not what equally yoked means.
Yoked
Yoke means burdened.
Again, bro, man, you're doing it again, bro.
No, I'm not. I'm literally just such the term.
Hold on. Forget the word equally yoked. Yeah, two people that believe in the exact same moral beliefs.
You're the one who's changing the term. First, you say equally yoked
because you want to because you know what I'm saying. You're gonna go
down.
No,
you said. What do you mean? You said equally yoked. I'm just going based on what you said.
Okay, forget the term equally yoked. Two people that believe in the same moral beliefs, a Christian woman and a Christian man that both believe in Jesus Christ and follow Jesus Christ.
What?
That's his definition.
Of equal. Then he's changing the definition, isn't he?
I knew it.
You are changing the definition. You are changing the definition. I just searched the definition. I'm
not going to play this game with you, Alex.
It's fine. You don't have to. I'm not playing the game with you.
What I'm talking about is two people that believe in the same thing. Listen, I'm not going to go right now into Google and find 10, 20 other definitions. I'm not going to do that. If you don't want to accept what
you don't need to.
Hold on.
You can just search one definition.
Hold on. If you don't want to accept what I mean by equally yoked, fine. But now I'm explaining it to you what I mean by that. All right. Okay. Take the equally yoked out of the equation. What I mean is two Christian people, male and female, that believe in Christianity and the beliefs of Christianity. Go ahead.
Right. Okay. So stop. So be more precise with your words then.
What's the argument now?
No, I'm just telling you to be more precise with your words.
The project.
You want to use terms.
I see you, bro. I see. Just go ahead, guys. It's already fire. Shout out to you. Yeah, shouts to you as well. Oh my days. JF, John Michelle, what's going on, bro? Support each other's beliefs and have similar spiritual purpose. It's Christian etymology. Equally yoked is a term most used by Christians. This is why I'm not going to go down this. Let's define this, define that. I'm not going to go. I know what equally yoked means, but I'm not going to play this little game where we go through.
I'm not playing a game.
Hold on, we're going to spend a whole hour trying to go back and forth, and I'm not going to do that with you, Alex. I explained what I meant. Now what?
Yeah, no, that's fine. Then be more careful with your words. And I'm telling you that even by your new definition, which you have changed, that is not enough to keep if this is in the context of marriage, that is not a good enough reason to justify not having a prenup, because the risk is always there.
Okay, that's that argument is literally wrong. Why? Because there's never been a situation where there is completely no risk at all. So yeah, that's just logically speaking, that doesn't make any sense. When we look at what do Christians have to draw from? If a Christian was to make a decision, what would he trust? Would he trust 2,000 years of Christian marriages staying together? Okay, the majority of it staying together, or would he trust in the last few decades? Okay, of having these problems with divorce and so on and so forth. No, a Christian person would say, you know what, the Christian belief system obviously works. Okay, and I've got more evidence when I look at the last 2,000 years than in the last few decades. So I can trust the Christian belief.
Okay, so your argument is just wrong. The idea that we should continue to allow inequality because there are some inequalities in the world where we can correct. So there's inequalities that we can't correct that are already inherent in life, and there are inequalities that are man-made that are not inherent in life. Your conflation of the two to say that just because inequalities
Hold
exist,
on,
and we
Alex, say
can't
that again.
control,
Say that again, Alex. Sorry, say that again. I want to catch your argument.
there are inequalities that are just part of life, the vicissitudes of life that you just have to go through, and there are equalities which are self-imposed or man-made. Your argument that just because equalities exist in life does not mean that we should continue to accept more inequalities when we can change those inequalities. So your argument that we should just accept the risk of not having a prenup because life is unfair is nonsense.
Hold on,
And if you want to talk about
you're
the,
gonna have to repeat that one more time for me. I actually get. I think you're misrepresenting my argument.
no, I'm not.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Say
Hassan,
that.
do you understand my argument? Because I mean,
Okay, so basically, as far as I understand it, shit happens isn't a valid perception. You say just because there are risks involved in marriage doesn't necessarily mean that you should reject ideas like prenups when it could be a measure put in place to prevent you being at the sharp end of a really bad situation.
yes, just because
Shit
risk
happens.
exists in life does not mean we should accept risks when we don't have to.
If you could avoid them, like prenups.
Yes, especially when you can avoid them. And as for your other point, compared to 2,000 years of Christianity or whatever your historical backing,
Yeah.
those marriages might have worked 2,000 years ago, but the societal and legal structure now makes them impossible to work. So applying a society, remember when in like the marriages of old, if a woman left, she was punished for it. If a man left, he was punished for it. We don't have those standards anymore. So you cannot hold those standards to today's society and say just because it worked 2,000 years ago means it will work today.
No, that's incorrect. Just because it worked 2,000 years ago. Okay, first of all, what made it work was the Christian belief. It was Christianity that made it
Do you
work.
want to address the
Can I finish?
the risk thing first?
Okay, hold on a second.
Let him get in the flow. Let him get in the flow.
Okay.
Alex.
So first of
go
all,
ahead, Octavio.
we've got 2,000, and we still continue, by the way. Religious people are less. The Catholic Church is only 12%, and we don't even believe in divorce or separation. So we still continue. Religious people are still doing well. So we've got plenty of evidence to believe that, given the importance of the institution of marriage, and the detriment that it can cause to society if the institution of marriage was to ever fall, I think it's extremely important to get married more than ever, providing, of course, that you have a moral obligation. Because if you don't,
We're not talking about the importance of marriage.
Please let me finish.
Stop
Please.
strawmanning then.
No, I'm not strawmanning this. Let me finish, please. The importance of marriage, because we know that if marriage goes out the window, so does society. So it's extremely important. So no, 2,000 years, we're still going strong. 12% on divorce, we're still going strong as far as the Catholics go. So religious beliefs is a big it's a big how do I say it? It's a big to making sure that marriages work. Your other point was to do with what? Just because there's that your prenup argument. I mean, it goes against the Christian belief. You know, we don't believe
in all fairness to Alex, he's saying they're real.
Hold on, we don't plan for divorce.
But he's talking about real. He's talking about practicality in today's society.
Yeah. But the thing is, with that, this one I've answered that already. We don't conform to today's society. We conform to Christianity and what Christianity teaches, not to hedonistic values. So yeah, if I'm going to marry a whore, I can understand why I would want to get a prenup. But since I'm not making those mistakes, since I'm not making those choices, why would I think a prenup? And prenup basically means planning for divorce. Basically means planning for. If you're going to go into something expecting it to fail, then why are you going in the first place?
And yet Christians get divorced.
Yes, and it's still a small minority.
It doesn't matter. As long, like, even if I accept your argument that it's a small minority, try making the argument that, oh, you shouldn't get a prenup to one of those Christians who have gotten divorced.
No, this is why I brought up the importance of marriage, because given the importance of the institution of marriage, I'm sorry to say it, but you need to get married. Otherwise, there is no society to speak of.
So men should just suffer.
No, I'm not. Listen, bro, I don't speak for you. You're an atheist.
No, I'm not talking about me. Why are you avoiding the question? I was talking about the Christians who get divorced.
You said men should just suffer.
Yeah, including Christians. Men include Christians, right?
those Christians that got divorced, yeah. Ask them if they still believe in the institution of marriage or if they are against marriage. See what they
That's
reply.
not the point. They can believe in the institution of marriage, but they can also believe in a prenup.
Hold on. You said men should just suffer. Yes, because guess what? Life is harsh. Things happen. Hold on a second. Let me answer it. Things happen. All right. Things or people are not perfect. There's going to be problems. You're going to be unlucky in life. There's going to be issues. But to try to sacrifice the institution of marriage over that is crazy to me.
No, what's crazy to me is that you think men should just suffer and women should be completely absolved of all suffering.
Completely.
Because that's basically what you're applying.
What do you mean completely?
Women should be absolved of all suffering.
I never said women should be completely absolved of all suffering.
Really?
He's saying in practicality, because of the modern legal system, that's the fate you're leaving them to die by or suffer.
Yep. And remember what I said at the top of the turn. Just because life has risks does not mean that you should go out of your way to not prepare yourself against risks that can be prepared for.
Yeah. No, I agree with you that life has risk.
Yeah, and prenup is one of the ways to prevent those.
To prevent what?
To prevent unnecessary risks.
No, prenup sounds like you're gonna get divorced one day. You might get. You don't trust. You don't trust you don't trust your moral judgment. You don't know the person that you gave a relationship to. That's what it sounds like to me. I'm just wondering why anyone would get married if they're going to get a prenup.
God.
That's the part.
If I could throw in an analogy, just because you guys have really made your points clear, and it's at a stalemate now because you won't budge
really
from each position. Isn't you? No. I'm not saying one is right or one is wrong, but I'm saying you guys have made your positions clear, and neither of you will budge. Can I present a scenario?
Yeah, go ahead.
Just a hypothetical. So.
Yeah, we've been now in 27. We all right. You know what I mean?
It's good. None of you are being disingenuous. Neither of you are being disingenuous. Both of you made your points clear, and I just don't see how the argument will go forward from here. He's saying men can suffer and will suffer. They should take risks put in place. You're saying, well, why are you putting these positions? Why are you putting these positions in place against risk? Because clearly you haven't taken the measure to find somebody who isn't so risky, and you haven't, taken a correct Christian path, and so on and so forth. Because then these measures wouldn't be necessary. That's which is essentially a stalemate. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, not really, because even if
go ahead.
To say that implies you completely eliminate risk when you marry a Christian woman, which is nonsense. The risk still exists. It mitigates the risk, but you can mitigate it even further with a prenup, which is completely within your control.
Yeah, that doesn't go according to the Christian belief, though. that's and another argument I would bring up is we believe that a woman should be protected and provided for. We don't believe that a woman should not be protected and provided for. Even after divorce, a woman should be protected and provided for. Why? Because that's our biological role. So this is what we believe. We don't believe in, because usually what happens with marriage is once you get married, children usually, come about. So we don't believe in this idea of, I want my, I want half of my whatever you guys are advocating for. We don't believe in that. We believe in gender roles.
And that's exactly why it's a cut culture. Why are you providing for someone who has stabbed you in the back? Especially, like, let's just assume the woman cheated on you. Why are you still providing for her? It's a
Because
cuck
you're
culture.
because you're the one who gave her the relationship.
It doesn't matter. It's still a cuck culture. Then you should be able to cut your losses. You
It's
should be
not.
able to cut your losses. It absolutely is. You continuing to
Being a
treat
man is being a
female-
cuck, basically. Being a
No,
biological.
no. You're not being a man. You're being a cuck.
Basically,
treating-
here's what you're
No,
doing.
no,
Alex.
no.
You're
Treating
not
a
taking-
woman well.
You're
No,
not taking.
treating
you're
a
not
woman well who has
you're not-
stabbed you in the back is
No,
cuck
you're
behavior.
not. You're no. You're not taking moral responsibility. Okay, you're not.
No,
taking,
you're taking more responsibility away from the woman.
Okay, Alfred, you're not taking moral accountability. Okay, you're the one who gave this woman the relationship. That's the first thing. Now that you've entered the relationship and you've seen that things didn't go your way, all right. Now you don't want to do your duty as a man and follow your biological role and actually do what you're supposed to do, which is, protect and provide.
No, the idea that the weight of the choice to marry the woman should extend infinitely goes against the idea of proportionality. If a man is in charge of the household and he carries on and he makes a bad decision, then he should also have the capacity to end his decision to continuing with that bad decision whenever he wants. Responsibility comes with authority.
Can I ask you a question, Alex? Do you believe that men and women are equal?
No, I don't.
Do you believe in gender roles? Do you think that exists?
Sure.
You do. Do you really believe that a man is put on earth to protect and provide for women?
Sure.
You sure?
Yeah.
It don't sound like it. Because if a woman, let's say, God forbid, a divorce ever takes place. Let's just say, I'm Catholic, so that would be separation. Let's just say that happens. Okay, I would take responsibility for my actions because I'm the one who chose this woman. I'm the one who gave her the relationship. So I would say, you know what, I made a bad choice. You know what, I'm going to assume responsibility for that. But I understand that my duty as a man is to protect and provide. And just because I made a bad choice, I'm not going to stop protecting and providing.
No, a man has a responsibility to protect and provide for his wife, not for random women.
Not for random women.
When a woman stabs you, let's use cheating as an example. If she cheats in the relationship, then she is effectively a random woman. She is no longer your wife. You do not have those obligations to her anymore.
Do you agree with that, Octavio?
Do I agree if a woman cheats? What I agree with is that you chose a woman that cheated on you.
It doesn't matter. If you want the man to have authority and you believe in gender roles, like you say they do, and if a man has authority over his choices to marry the woman, then he also has authority over the choice to end his suffering by continuing to provide for that woman. You can't have it both ways.
I believe that a man should take responsibility for what.
It's not responsibility; it's slavery.
Hold on. I believe that a man should take responsibility for what he does. Okay, if he made a bad choice, he needs to take responsibility for that. All right. For example, if a woman cheats on me, of course, my relationship with that woman would not be the same. But if she has my children, and we went through a divorce, I would make sure I protect and provide for that person. That's the right thing to do because I'm taking accountability. I'm taking accountability for the fact that I made a poor decision when it came down to choosing a woman.
No, it's not. You are overextending the scope of accountability. That is not accountability. That is slavery.
So in your world, everything must always be perfect.
It's not perfect, but I can definitely tell when something is way off.
Do you ever do you take into account that people are flawed and problems might arise?
Sure.
Do you take that into account, or is it
Sure.
if they mess up, that's it, divorce done, F the children,
Sure, but
who cares?
I hope you're not trying to make the argument that cheating is a mistake.
No. Cheating is very bad. But the thing is, what my argument is cheating will change the nature of the relationship between the man and the woman. Absolutely. But my argument is, if of course if there's a divorce and that woman has my children, I still have a duty to protect and provide for my children.
Yeah, your children, not her.
Yes, for my children.
Not
But
her.
you made a bad. She is the mother of my children.
Okay, then just provide child support.
Yeah.
Don't provide alimony.
Okay, hold on. Child support, just child support, right? Okay, so how she's gonna go to work and what? Leave my kids by themselves? What's gonna happen to my kids?
What do you mean? She can put them in babysitter care.
So I want my children to be entrusted to some random woman.
You're going to do that, and what? I don't get your point. You can easily calculate the amount that babies by themselves, if they're kids or if they're teens or whatever age before 18. You can easily count. There already is precedent for how much those like.
Bro,
the
do you know what
charges your children will
do
need.
you know what you're suggesting involves? Okay, look, let's talk about the reality. Okay, divorce happens.
Yeah.
Right. If I was only paying for child support, okay, she would have to go and work. All right, she would have to go and work. And you're saying that if she's working, she's not taking care of the kids. So what she would have to do is put those kids, those two kids, in daycare. All right. So now there's a stranger looking after my kids.
Okay.
Now, okay, hold on a second. While she's at work, then she picks them up from daycare. All right. God knows how many times she has to do this, because remember, she's gonna be struggling to pay the rent. She's gonna be struggling to pay for she still has to feed my children, she still has to raise my children, she still has to do all of that. But now with having to work, having to put the kids in daycare, how exactly that's protecting and providing for your kids?
Because they still get the basic necessities that they need to. Look, like it's not. I mean, like, no one says it's a perfect solution, but the solution that you're suggesting is far worse, because it actually gets ingrained in the child's moral character that people should get away with bad, with bad people or bad characters should get out of jail free, which is essentially what you're giving to the mom.
Hold on, I'm hold on. So you would sacrifice your own children?
You're not sacrificing children.
Okay. Do you know how kids become bad, Alex? It doesn't happen in one day.
Sure.
Okay. If the mother is not there to what, it's bad enough that they're being raised by a single mother. It's bad enough that the father is not there most of the time because he
Okay.
has to work. Hold on. It's bad enough that the father is not there most of the time because he has to work. It's bad enough that you can't, people that are not there for their kids 24/7. It doesn't have much of that if the father is away from home and only sees them once a weekend, it's not the same thing as being there on a day-to-day basis.
But whose fault?
Hold on a second. It's bad enough that the mother, all right, has to work. She's not there to direct the kids, and a stranger's looking after the kids. You think I'm going to sacrifice my legacy over this pride? She cheated, I must punish her.
You already have. When you provide women that kind of luxury, even after they have done you the worst possible form of disloyalty, you are demonstrating that women should not be held accountable for anything that they do.
No, I'm demonstrating that I made a bad decision. I made a
No,
bad
you're
decision.
not.
Hold on. I made a bad decision in choosing the woman that I chose, but I'm not going to sacrifice my bloody kids
You're not sacrificing your kids.
because of a personal vendetta.
You're not sacrificing your kids, and it's not a personal vendetta. It's about principle.
So
when you treat
how are you
treat a woman
sacrificing your
well,
kids? Okay, Alex, how are you not sacrificing your kid if a stranger is raising your kid most of the time, and while the woman is trying to basically pay the bill? How are you not sacrificing your kids?
because the child still gets provided for, whether it's done, and you wouldn't want that mother who has shown bad character to be in charge of those kids anyway.
Alex, you do know that single you do know that it's feeding a child and giving them something to drink, feeding them food and drink. It's not enough to raise a child. You
I
do know.
didn't say it was perfect, but it's definitely better than the alternative that you're suggesting.
You think
Because
that's
the
better?
alternative that you're suggesting is letting a woman with bad character take care. She's not. You need to get this idea that she's the mother of your kids. Like, yeah, she may be in by biology, but that woman is a demon. Any woman who can be disloyal to a man like that is a demon and not someone who you want raising your kids anyway. Don't
So-
forget, she's also probably going to
okay,
have a personal grudge against you, and she's
I'm
probably going to put that rage or misguided anger or whatever into the kids.
I'm gonna go with you. She's a demon. All right. So what you're suggesting is, okay, now she goes out there. All right. What you're suggesting is put my kids in the hands of a complete stranger. All right. So the kid spends even less time with her. All right. So she's not even raising the kids at this point. All right. It's bad enough that a single mother is already raising my kids. Now we're gonna give them to a complete stranger now, those kids. And all because I want to punish the woman?
You know, I just explained to you, it's not just about punishing the woman.
It's about
You don't
what?
want that kind of person raising your kids.
And so you'd rather a stranger?
Yeah, I rather someone in a neutral. They can at least that gives a chance of like, and you. I mean, it's not as if you don't have any role in vetting what babysitter
What,
take
a
care of the kids or
stranger?
whatever. Yeah,
That
I'd
would-
rather
that-
have
that would still
babysitter
be
or
a-
someone taking care of the kids.
Alex, that would still be a stranger, wouldn't it?
Sure. Or it could be a relative. Why
So
can't it be a
then,
relative?
doesn't it shift? Doesn't the priority shift from prioritizing the kid, what's in the kid's best interest, to penalizing the woman for her transgression?
No, it doesn't. Because like I said,
Because
if you
who's the
let the
better
mom-
mother? Who's the
no,
better
if you
mother
let the
to the kids
mom
than the
take care
mother?
of the kids, the mom, we've already agreed that the mom is a
Yes.
bad person. Why would you want a bad person taking care of your
No,
kids?
no. That's quite the judgment, because she could be a bad
It
wife.
is. If she
but
cheats,
not
she is a bad
necessarily a bad
person.
mother. Or whether by that logic you're saying a man who cheats on his wife is a bad father and shouldn't have access to these kids.
A man cheating and a woman cheating are not the same thing.
No, but my point. This is. I just want to know this. We don't have to keep going on about this, Alex. I mean, at the end of the day, if that's your opinion, that's your opinion. But just to clarify, you would rather the kids basically be raised by a stranger.
Well, okay, here's the thing. I would rather we change the laws which you are against to reform the idea of who is the primary custodial parent to give the man a chance so that we can basically avoid all this and the man has some sort of agency over who he picks as the babysitter or whatever. This is assuming the woman cheats, right? This is all assuming the woman cheats.
Okay.
But in general, I would rather someone else raise my kids, ideally a relative. If not, then you can get a babysitter in, than to get someone which you already know is a bad person to raise your kids. Remember, most of the time, these women will be actively trying to turn your children against you.
Okay. So so you're saying either get a relative oh God. Or a stranger, a babysitter, a stranger to raise your kids, or change the law. And you said something about the law. Let's just explore that a little bit. How
Change
would
the law of primary custodial parent. Right now, the presumption is that it's
so,
woman.
so how would that work? Like primary
Get
custodial.
rid of the presumption.
Okay, get rid of the presumption. All right. Okay, so how would that work? Would that be 50-50?
No, what? No,
It
the idea
would
of
be.
No, I'm-
It
I'm-
would be
no,
50-50.
no,
Real
It
life,
would be equal.
not theoretical. In real life terms, how would that work? So, for example, there's a divorce took place. There's children involved. How would that work?
I mean, you have to look at the different factors that contribute towards taking care of children, ability to provide income. Then obviously you look at detrimental factors like whether the mom or the dad is.
Okay, what would be the perfect scenario?
What's that background noise?
Wait. Hang on. Then you will look at issues like whether the mom or the dad is a drug addict or whatever kind of unsavory lifestyle they live. Literally, like getting rid of the presumption just means that you get rid of the idea that off rip the mom is supposed to be the one in charge of the kids.
You know where he's going with this, right?
I know. What I'm asking is,
I'm asking.
give me the perfect scenario. How would it look like? What would be a fair deal for the man?
I just gave it to you.
Okay, getting rid of the presumption. I'm talking about in practical terms. So, for example, divorce happens, the children thing. We've gotten rid of the presumption. Now. Can you give me a practical scenario of how that would work out in terms of
Octavio, no fairness, he just
did.
He said judge it by merit. So who's got more money? Who's not a drug addict? Who's good at it? So is that right, Alex?
Yeah.
Based on merit.
No one is a drug addict. Like you guys know what I'm asking.
You said in practicality. That's the question you're really asking is,
okay. There's no drug addicts. Okay. There's no drug addicts.
Yeah,
there's no presumption.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's no presumption.
No addicts, no presumption. Okay.
Yeah.
The father earns all the money. The mother doesn't. Okay.
Yeah.
What's the perfect scenario now? How would that work out in practicality?
Then you will look at the grounds for the divorce.
Bro, we're never gonna get there, are we? Yeah, we're never.
What do you mean?
Because
you look at the grounds for the divorce. If the divorce is caused by the mom cheating, then the father should get primary custody.
The mother cheated. The mother cheated. Okay, what would be a fair deal for the guy?
Okay.
Then the father should get primary custody.
Okay, the father would gets primary custody. Okay, now the father basically is going to take care of the children, right? How would he work? Full-time job.
I mean, he just has to make it. Well, I mean, he probably would have to sacrifice his job to some extent.
Okay,
but we already know the presumption that single father households do
better. Yes, they do better.
Way better than single mother households.
Okay, yeah,
I agree
with you. I agree with all of that. I agree with you, Alex. So basically, the father gets custody of the child. So the father gives up his work because he has to take care of the child. So he stays at home while he gets government funding.
I mean, you don't necessarily, or you could give the kids to a relative or a babysitter, but the primary custodial parent would still be the father.
So basically, the father will give the custody to someone else to take care of his kids while he does what? Goes to work?
No, he's not. He's not giving custody away in the legal sense. He's still the primary custody, but he would have someone take care of the kids. That doesn't mean that he doesn't see the kids at all. It's just more of an issue of him splitting time.
So he'll pass off the responsibility to someone else.
No, he's not passing off any responsibility. He's being responsible by going out and providing and earning for the children.
Okay, so basically, let's say he doesn't have no one else to give it to. This is just normal people, regular people. All right, regular people, not people that have huge family support and all of that type of stuff. Let's just say he's a regular guy. Okay, they gave him custody. They said, okay, boom, there you go. You've got full custody. You've got the kid now. The woman can go and do whatever she wants. She cheated. You're that guy. You've got the kid. All right. Now, what does he do? He stays at home, right? And raises the kid.
No, you can still go to work, or you can get someone to take care of the kids, or you can work from home. Now working from home is an option.
There you go. There you go.
What do you mean, there you go?
We advocate.
We
advocate for men to basically. This is what would end up happening. Basically, what we are doing is we're making men into women. We're turning men into women.
Because divorce is not an ideal situation.
We are giving the role of a man to a woman. Because this is we just broke down the reality, and every time Alex has always passed on the responsibility to someone else. Oh, you know what?
No, it's not, because it's in a divorce. A divorce is not an ideal situation. You cannot hold the ideals of what would normally happen when a divorce happens. You're already
Alex,
not 100%.
Let him just summarize his perspective and then just respond to it. But go ahead, Octavio.
We did the whole, you know what? No presumption, the presumption that we did all of that. Okay, we said that she's the one who cheated. He's got primary custody now. He's got the child. He's there. So this is the part I wanted to get to, the practicality of it. How does it work? He's got full custody. He's standing there. All right. How am I going to take care of this child while work at the same time? And the best solution that I've been given so far, All right, because that's what would happen if the father had full custody. Okay, I can't. The truth is this: most people wouldn't be able to just give their children to someone else. But the best solution is either to give it to someone else, okay, that the father trusts, okay, to take care of his child. Again, passing it off to someone else that's not biologically linked to that child. Okay, you're just giving it away. All right, okay, there you go. There's the child, so that he can go to work. Or the only other option is I stay at home as if I'm a woman. Okay, and the government basically gives me money. All right, all the woman, since it's her fault, she should be giving me money then. All right,
No,
so
work from
I can raise
home.
the kids.
Work from home.
Guess what? Guess what? I'm gonna have to give up my job. I'm gonna have to stay.
No,
at
you
home.
don't. I just said work from home.
Bro, do you know how many people work from home, Alex? It's a minority.
And work from home.
If you're
still working.
that's why
work from
if
home.
you're not in that position to get married and provide for kids in situations like that, you shouldn't be getting married in the first place.
Oh, you see, when we break it down to the practicality of it all, it doesn't actually work.
No, you haven't broken it down at all.
What are you talking?
You haven't done anything.
The guy
You haven't done what you think you
KD,
did.
what's going on, KD? Shouts to KD. We just broke it down. We broke
No,
it
you
down.
haven't.
We broke it down to
haven't.
the having full custody. We broke it
You
down
are
to the
you are assuming that we can still start from an equal position of an ideal situation. When divorce happens, it already means the situation is less than ideal.
I literally
There is no perfect solution. You are going for a perfect solution.
I said, bro, what would be fair for men?
That is fair. That is the fairest you can get.
You gave
It
the
doesn't mean
fairness.
it's fair.
Okay, you gave the fairness. Then we broke it down into practical.
No. I said it is the fairest you can get. It doesn't mean that it is fair. When divorce happens, you already start off from an unfair position. That's what you don't understand. You think everything can be resolved 100% back to status quo. That's not how it works.
I mean, you guys decide, but as you can see, this is feminism. Because what would end up
happening? As you can see, this is men just using something to escape from accountability. It's cutness. It is.
In that situation, it's your opinion. In that situation, basically, what would happen is the woman would basically go back into the workforce. The men would stay at home and raise the kids. Okay. In that situation,
and work from home.
Hold on a second. Work from home. That's like the exception to the rule. You know, one thing
and
about
you shouldn't be getting married if you can't afford to have a job like that.
Hold on. One thing I learned from Red Pill, right, is like don't bring the exception to the rule.
You see, Octavio doesn't listen. He picks and chooses what he likes from the argument. Red Pill also advocates that if you don't have enough money, and typically having money comes with having those kind of work from home jobs. Like law allows for work from home jobs.
Bro, most
doctors in their off days when they do triaging, they do work from home jobs.
Do you agree that most
people he likes to pick and choose the parts of the Red Pill? So if you're not in a position to get those kind of jobs, you shouldn't be getting married in the first place.
Okay.
Because then you end up in a situation like you described.
So 1 second, Alex. The Red Pill advocates for trying to earn as much as you can. Most high-paying jobs in the US and in the West are sales jobs. Sales jobs do not work from home. They're usually actually meeting clients face to face.
No. Sales jobs are not.
These people don't work from home, bro. That's just a lie, bro.
But it depends. It depends on the sales job that you work in. It's not everything is door-to-door sales.
Hold on, Project Viewpod says the average 2-parent households still have grandma, daycare, and the school system to take care of the kids to a degree. On average, even with child support and women's support, the women will still send. Okay, listen, look what he just said. Will still send their kids to daycare. Yeah. Basically, look. He came to the same conclusion that Alex did. Basically, if the father has full custody, pass off your bloody kids to a stranger. Daycare, that's a stranger. Hold on, wait. Daycare, that's a stranger. Or pass it off to, or unload. Remember, you're the one who brought this child. Hold on, you're the one who brought this child into the world. Just give it to a relative. Give it to a relative. Come on.
You see what I mean? Octavio's living in Delulu land. He still thinks that everything after divorce can be resolved at 100% efficiency. once you are in a position of divorce, there's no such thing as going back to the optimum anymore. You have to work in the new, less optimum situation.
Okay.
Tradcons are delusional.
Let me just ask Project Viewpoint a question. What if there is no grandma? What if there is no relative? What's next? Just daycare, yeah? Do you know?
Well, you're asking him. I'm not going to answer.
Basically, give it to a stranger. Give it to a stranger, or the only other option is stay at home and accept the role of a woman, which is to take care of the child at
You
home.
can work from home.
While the woman
You
is
can work
free
from
to
home.
go and take the
You
role
can
of a
work
man.
from home.
Again,
You
feminism
can
for
work from
men.
home.
Feminism for
You
men.
can work from home. You can work from home.
Well, again, the work from home is not even.
I just answer you. It doesn't mean
Exception to the rule.
Hassan's description of
Don't work
sales
from
jobs
home.
includes door-to-door
Most
sales as well as
people
working from
don't
home.
work from home. It's
No.
not a practical.
Yes, you
it's
can.
not- hold on,
Yes, you
It's
can.
not a
Yes,
practical
you can.
solution, Alex.
Yes, you
It's
can.
not a practical
Yes, you
solution for
can.
most men.
Yes,
It
you can.
isn't. It
Yes, it
isn't a
is.
practical solution for
Yes,
most
it
men,
is.
Alex. No, it
Yes, it
isn't.
is.
No,
Yes,
it
it is.
isn't. So
Yes, it is.
this law
Yes,
reform
it is.
bullshit
Yes, it
doesn't
is.
work.
Yes, it is.
Having said that, it does break the gender roles narrative, right? That it pretty much neutralizes that perception of gender roles. It makes
Yeah,
them
because-
equal in a sense.
Because Hassan, remember what I said? This guy
Yeah.
just he just doesn't want to. He keeps avoiding the point.
Yeah.
When you get in divorce, there's no such thing as an optimum situation anymore.
It's the new norm.
Yes, it is the new norm, and that's something that he doesn't understand. There's no such thing as going back to perfect gender roles anymore. It's done. He's still operating on what is the perfect solution. There is no perfect solution.
And even
There's
gender
only-
roles break after post-divorce. Even gender roles break down.
Yeah, sure. Like I mean,
Okay.
yeah, necessarily, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, because like I said, the alternative is literally going into a cup treatment by
But
the woman.
You understand?
by-
Do you know? I think who's the real cuckold? He's the one who stays
You.
at home. He's the one.
No,
who
it
stays
isn't.
At home. Hold on, let me just.
No, it
finish.
isn't.
Let me just
Staying
finish.
at home is not what a
Hold
cup
on a second.
means.
Can I please finish, Alex? I didn't interrupt.
Staying at home is not what a cup. You just
I didn't
interrupted me. What do you
interrupt
mean?
You were talking, Alex. Come on, man.
What do you mean? I was talking to Hassan and you interrupted me. What are you talking about?
Before you finish talking. Okay.
No,
Finish
how could I finish talking? I was still talking. You interrupted me mid-sentence. What do you mean? Hassan, you were saying?
So yeah, I'm pretty much done as well. But it seemed.
No, what was the
point I
question you asked?
So yeah, so even gender roles after post-divorce breakdown. So they're both it's purely based on merit. You're arguing in terms of who gets custody of the children.
Well,
provides the children, and then obviously assuming the woman cheats in this scenario.
Well, yeah, I mean, post-divorce, like, if you will want to maintain gender roles, then it will come at a steep cost that would not exist if divorce didn't happen, which would be you continue providing for that woman and you let your children get raised by someone who has outed herself as a bad person,
Mhm.
who's actively trying to turn the kids against you, as most moms do once divorce happens. So, I mean, like, if you the trade-off will obviously be estrangement from your kids as well as let's say like them you basically being providing for an environment which turns kids against you, and then so the and it's the way
somebody who cheated on you.
Like we're assuming this is a cheating circumstance.
Yeah.
And then assuming that, like, but if you didn't want this to happen and you wanted to, like, let's say you didn't want to compromise on the child's on raising the children, on the way you raise the kids, then what would happen is that you would necessarily need to compromise to some extent in the gender roles department.
Yeah, you essentially be paying for a surrogate mother, because you divorce the wife in this scenario. You don't pay alimony because in this scenario you don't pay alimony. You pay child support, which then pays for essentially a surrogate mother. Wouldn't that put the children at a disadvantage because they have less access to their mother?
Why? But like I said, why would you want them to have access to a mom who's a bad person?
Because the objective, Octavio might say, is it's not about you, it's about the kids. What's best for the kids.
But I don't think it's best for the kids to be raised by a person who is a bad person.
Why is she a bad person? Because she broke the marital vow. There is commitment to the children and there's commitment to the husband. She broke the commitment to the husband, not necessarily the children.
Well, it underscores a bigger issue with her moral character in general, right? I mean, we can all agree here that disloyalty from well, cheating in a relationship is the
Yeah.
is the ultimate form of disloyalty. If a woman is capable of that, do you really think that she isn't?
That's it. That's an assumption that she wouldn't have
But
her children's best interests at heart. Though.
Yes, she
Because
well, if
by
she's
the-
active,
Yeah.
I mean, like, you can say it's assumption, sure, but it's assumption that's based on a very strong precedent. I don't think that, and just because, like I said, even if I give you that she has the children's best interest at heart, that doesn't
Yeah.
mean that she's not actively going to try and turn them against you.
She might present you in a negative light, but here's a problem with that argument, because if the man cheats in the scenario, she could say, then I'm limiting access to his kids because he's a cheater, he's not a person of integrity.
But men
using
and
that
women
logic-
cheating are not the same.
Okay. Octavio,
Men
do
and
you have any
women who cheat are not the same.
objections to that? Do you have anything you want to add?
No, I was just gonna make a point. So, Alex, I didn't interrupt you mid-sentence, did I?
I mean, you did originally.
Okay.
I'm happy for Octavio to speak if you're happy for Octavio to speak.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, basically what's being advocated for here is that men become cuckolds. They take the role of a woman. And what does that mean? That means that the man stays at home and raises the kids, so she takes the role of a woman. And while the woman basically goes into the workforce, which is what feminism wanted all along. Just to answer Project VO Pod, when you actually break it down, what these guys are advocating for doesn't actually make sense. And when you actually break it down into the practicality of it all, you actually realize that what they're asking for actually goes along with the feminist agenda, which is to put women in the workforce and men at home like cuckolds. Project Viewpod said daycare and school system. That's the reality. Most women will still go out and work to get money to afford other bills. It's the same. It's the same. It's still the same, bro. So daycare and the school system, that's the reality. Okay.
So I mean, again,
Hold on a
again-
second. Sorry, can I just okay. The reality is that we are in an area that is very dangerous. Okay. All right. Is that what is right? Do you think I should move? Do you think I should continue living in that reality? No. Okay. The best thing to do is for me to move away from this dangerous area, not live in that reality, because I might get killed, I might get hurt. That's how people improve their lives. That's how people move. Is daycare good for kids? Is giving your kids to a stranger good for kids? No, it's not. Just because single mothers do certain things, certain bad things, they put their kids in daycare, is that the right thing to do? Is that the reality? Because that's the reality, I should just accept it. No, that's not how people operate. This is not how people that want better for their lives operate. So yeah, that argument doesn't actually follow. Yeah, go ahead. Guys,
again,
we're gonna finish now. We're gonna finish now. But
Yeah.
Alex,
No, I just want to, again, as I was saying, Octavio doesn't want to live in reality. He wants to live in Delulu land. Just be, like I said, a man staying at home doesn't necessarily mean that he's a cuck. He's trying to redefine what cuck means again. Just because you take care of kids doesn't mean you can't work at the same time. It's going to be extremely difficult. No one said it's going to be easy. But that's literally just the reality that you have to live in. Meanwhile, Treds, on the other hand, are actually advocating for cuckery. They want to keep giving benefits to women that have mistreated them and betrayed them in the worst possible way. Like I said, Treds are for pro-slavery of men to women. It's as simple as that.
was that your final thoughts, bro?
No, it wasn't my final. That was my response to you. You can do your
Okay.
final thoughts, and then I can do.
Yeah, no worries. All right. What did Project Real put it? Didn't say to accept it. I'm saying that's how the average woman operates. Yes, and I would say that the average woman operates badly. They shouldn't operate in that way.
Jake, he doesn't understand. He doesn't understand.
That is not the right way of operating. And I wouldn't advocate that for men or women to operate in that way. I wouldn't advocate for men to have full custody and give his children to a relative, or a or daycare, and I wouldn't advocate for women to do otherwise. Give kids to strangers and all of that. Argue from the average person, not your perspective. The average person, you'd have to know every single average person and what they do, and I don't think we've got statistics.
No, you wouldn't.
I don't think we've got statistics to to show that. But here's my final thoughts. I Tradcons cuckolds, absolutely nonsense. How can they be cuckolds? Tradcons are people that believe in Christian values, and as you know, Christian religious people tend to have when it comes to divorce, they don't divorce as much. But when it comes to the argument of Tradcons cuckolds, what we're really talking about is, do Tradcons enjoy the do Tradcons give permission for their wives to sleep with other men?
No,
And are
that's not
okay
what
with
you
it?
said.
No, it's my final thought, bro.
Yeah, Alex, just let him
Man.
finish.
But he's literally changing the argument.
No.
Let him
I went-
present his perspective.
Come on, man. I went along with your definition, and I told you from if you watch it back, you see that I never agreed with you. You said this is the definition I wanted to go with because you wanted
It's
to
not
make
the definition that I wanted to go with. It is the definition. It is
No.
one of the definitions. It is a recognized
you go
definition.
from the definitions to one of the definitions.
Yet, the meaning recognized. It is one of the recognized definitions. And I showed you that by pointing you to the dictionary, like you like to do so much.
Listen. I don't. I'm going by my definition now. Okay. What,
Your definition. Okay.
and I please
long
give
as
my
you made that
final thoughts, Alex, without interruption. Thank you. The correct definition of a cuckold is a husband who is okay with his wife sleeping with other men. That's the real definition of a cuckold. And when it comes to that, a traditional conservative man that believe in Christianity would never accept that because it would go against his own values. So the idea that a Christian man could ever be a cuckold is absolutely nonsensical. When it comes down to, I mean, that's pretty much what the debate was about, and I just proved it.
No, you didn't.
Now, when it comes to what we were just talking about, that now, what these guys are advocating for is for men to basically become women or to assume the role of a woman, which is, you know what, fairness. The law is based on gender roles currently, which is I mentioned protect and provide. When I asked Alex about how it would look like a fair deal, let's say the woman cheated, what a fair deal would look like for a man, basically what it really came down to in the end is the men staying at home and taking care of the kid. That's what it came down to. All right. Or, for example, if he doesn't stay at home and take care of the kid, guess what you would have to do? You'd have to give the kids to strangers so they can raise their kids and do or give it to a family member. This is what these guys are advocating for. So basically, a man is supposed to forsake his role as protector and provider. Okay. Why? Because he is pissed off that he made the wrong decision, chose the wrong woman. That to me doesn't show accountability at all. That's a man that lacks accountability. If you chose the wrong woman, you need to basically suffer the consequences. You chose the wrong woman, especially if you have children with her. You need to protect the children. That you need to protect and provide for the children because that's your legacy. And yeah, take accountability. Yeah, go ahead. Alex.
Yeah. So, like I was saying, Octavio lives in delusional land. Like I said, he keeps avoiding the point that I was saying that we don't have an optimum scenario. We can only work on what we have. We've already established throughout this life that he doesn't believe in the rule of law. He is fundamentally unethical. He believes that men should have unlimited liability. And yet at the same time, he wants men to be in the provider role and in charge of the relationship. So if you are in charge of the relationship, then you should have also the choice to decide when you want to end that liability through resulting actions. It's a simple give and take, but he doesn't want to give and take. He wants to take away the part of responsibility from the woman and put it on the men, while giving men authority only when it subsequently benefits the woman. This is why trads are cuckolds. As for the definition of cuckold, Can you share my screen one more time?
Yeah, sure. No worries, bro. Where is it?
No, I'm doing it now.
Okay.
As for the definition of cuckold, Octavio said he loves to do this. Even when I provide a dictionary definition, I've given at least 4 different sites. I mean, if you want to show all 4, we can do it now as well. Of the definition of cuck, and yet he wants to claim that there's only one true definition of cuck. Once again, he moves the goalposts on definitions and dismisses stuff that he doesn't like. It's not how the world works. You take it as you take definitions as they come. And like I said, I mean, I've proven it through multiple areas. He fundamentally doesn't believe in the prenup. I mean, and like not to mention that this is all before we get into the, let's say, the personal side of why Octavio personally himself is a cuck, which I didn't get to do, but I don't think we have time to do. But yeah, I mean, I've shown throughout this debate, it all stems from an idea that men should be slaves to women, and they justify it based on this deluded sense of accountability. No, that's not how accountability works. Accountability, if you actually look at it as a spectrum, if you go beyond accountability, you get into slavery. That is where responsibility outweighs authority. Where responsibility outweighs authority, that is slavery. Where responsibility matches authority, that is accountability. And where authority is greater than responsibility, that is tyranny. And what Octavio is advocating now is for slavery. Simple as.
Nice. Yes, guys.
Do I get final thoughts?
I actually really enjoyed it. Oh yeah, hold on. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, my bad.
Bro, are you hearing shit in my background?
Yeah, something I can hear.
Sorry. They're doing like lion dancing for Chinese New Year.
Oh, I see.
No.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I can hear some noise. Yeah.
It's not too bad.
Wait. So I mean, but you can still hear me, right?
Yeah. Clearly,
Yeah.
So yeah, basically, you guys have pretty much stood your positions, made your positions clear. There wasn't a moving of the goalposts in any of this, and I can say both of you have made your positions clear and stood by it. Octavio's, Alex's position saying modern day society means men may suffer under current laws, and there should be a priority on at least mitigating risk on the back end. And Octavio's perspective being, as far as I understood it, mitigating risk on the front end. Better you choose the right person rather than having so many measures in place to make sure nothing backfires on you, or there isn't a great backfire on you when you make the wrong decision. But if you do, there should be accountability on the man, which in a sense focuses priority, makes the man focus on who he chooses in a sense, rather than having a more less consequential circumstances for the mistake that he's made, which is what Octavio is trying to present. You've both done well. I think both of you, you haven't changed your positions, but I guess it's up to the audience to decide if Alex has proven his point. But it's been a good debate overall. I think you guys did well.
I think we did well as well. Well. And I think it was actually a great debate. For the most part, it was calm. It got everything.
Fucking hell, I can't hear anything.
Yeah, it's pretty bad back here.
Yeah, it had everything that a great debate should have. You know, it was heated. It was it had everything. It was calm. It was informative. I think it was intelligent. We went back and forth. There was no dry spots or nothing like that. I enjoyed it. I completely and thoroughly enjoyed it, and I thank Alex for the debate. I appreciate
it was fun.
Yeah, and Hassan, appreciate you for moderating the best you possibly could, even though you were late.
Yeah,
as usual. Shout outs to the
accountability, man.
Shout outs to everyone in the comment section. Shout outs to Project VO Pod. I did send the link out, guys. You guys could have jumped in. Shouts to KD, shouts to John Michelle. We didn't expect anyone to before everyone was gonna be like sleeping and all of that, but everyone still came through and showed love. So appreciate that. We appreciate that. And yeah, guys, see you next debate, man. Alex, any more ideas? Just send it my way and we'll book it.
I actually do have an idea for the next one, but I will need about. Well, I'm gonna be busy within the next 1 to 2 months, so like I said, I don't know when I can come on. It'll be spontaneous.
Okay. Oh yeah. Just let me know. However
It's
spontaneous it is.
M&A closing season, so I gotta get all my closing done. I do have an idea, but I'll send it to you privately. Or do you want me to let everyone know what it might be?
No. Send it to me privately first.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, and then I'll share it. All right, guys. Love everyone. Appreciate you. And actually, it doesn't make a difference really. You can send it publicly, bro.
Okay.
Yeah. Everyone, take care. Love. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Take it easy.
Yo.